Hi, this is Simon Chan, and welcome to my No BS, No Hype network marketing training. Members of my mastermind groups can ask me questions on a weekly basis, and today's question comes from a leader of a team in Melbourne. Great team, great camaraderie, tons of fun. He's also building his business out in different countries. So one of the countries is like Malaysia. And he went back there, and the first time he went back there, he built up a small team, but they quickly, once he went back to Australia, they kind of wilted away and died off. Okay, it was attrition. And now he wants to go back there again and start building again. But he has, a couple of fears, like mindset issues where, number one, if he builds again, will the same thing happen? And number two is the investment to get started, because his demographic is Gen Y. The amount of money for him to get started for most Gen Y or recent college grad is very high. They don't have the money to get started, right? So he has these limiting beliefs that he can actually build a successful team there. So here are a couple of things just to help you hold you accountable and really do. He's saying that I need to push myself, but those negative thoughts always creeps into my mind, and I have to always be mentally alert to guard my mind, which is really good. Number one, you realize it's a mindset issue, right? You can't blame the company, can't blame the products, can't blame the situation. It's your mindset. So, congrats. That's at least you know what the problem is. So here are a few things. Remember this phrase: yesterday is a mystery. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Your past doesn't determine your future, right? And you have to let go of the past. The people, you're telling me they worked hard back then. Number one, you were back in Australia. Did they really, really work hard? Were they saying the right things? Were they inviting the right things, right? We don't know that. So what happened, what happened in the past, just let it go. Because, number one, you never know what they did. It probably may not have been your fault. Number two is, you're also way more, that was a long, long time ago, months ago, right? You've been building the business. You're way more advanced than you were 5-6 months ago. So a lot of the challenges, like you talk about, you were motivating through Skype. The trainings that you do now are way better than the trainings you did back then. And if you don't believe me, start recording your trainings. If you're training people by Skype, get Skype recorder. I use that for the Mac. It's great for recording conversations. You can also use, I'm sure they have a Windows version as well. Go get that and record. And I'm sure if you do a training now and then look back at 6 months, a year from now, your trainings back then will be even better than today. So you're growing every day. And as long as you're growing, you're doing the self-development, you should have that confidence to know, hey, this is different. Because we've all made mistakes. I made so many mistakes, so many bad trainings or dumb things, and not just in network marketing, but other parts of my life. Done your relationships, financial things, stupid things I've done, dumb things I've said to people. But you let that go, and when you let that go, that's the only way you can get better. And then as long as you're reading the books, investing in self-development, spending time with successful people, you realize, who you are today, who you are going to be tomorrow is very different from what you were months ago. So the outcome will be different. Right. So learn to let go of the past. The second thing is, in terms of the money, that's a big mindset. There's two things. There's a mindset thing, right? There are people out in other countries who are even poorer than Malaysia. They can get started with 2,000 ringgits. They have. If you show the value, they will come up with the money. So you probably haven't shown the value yet. Right? Now, not having the money, it could be two things. Most of the time, is you haven't shown the value. That's why the fear of loss is making them say that, oh, I don't have the money. Another thing is, it could be real, it could be a real and, reason. They may not have the money right now because they're students. They don't have the money. So then be creative. Think of other ways for them to get started. Could they come in with a less, small investment, a different package? Could they come up with, be creative, challenge yourself. How can you make it work? Not that why it doesn't. So that's another mindset thing. Instead of giving reasons why you can't, start asking yourself, how can you make it work? How, right? So when you went back last time, your team died because you were not there. You said you realized you were not there. how can you duplicate? I mean, you have a great team in Melbourne. How can you duplicate that experience, that team, and duplicate that in Malaysia? How can you bring that over? That same culture, same excitement. So start thinking about that, right? So those are some of the things that I would, I want to pay attention. Number one is let go of the past. Number two, the mindset, the money thing. It could be a real objection, which in other ways, be creative. Find out how they can come up with the money. Or a lot of times, if you show the value enough, they will come to money. They can sell their video games. They can sell a few things. They can get the money. And the last thing is really be creative. How can you realize that you're strong in Melbourne because you have that team. So how can you duplicate that experience in Malaysia? I hope that helps answers your questions. If you have any other comments, feel free to comment below. That wraps up this training. This is Simon Chan. Thank you for watching. And remember, we are in the profession to help others. So go out there and have a positive impact on someone's life today. God bless you all.